You are listening to the Happy, Healthy, Hot Mom Summit, where you will discover how to be fit, sexy, and energized, even if you are a busy mom. With your host, top female fat loss and hormone specialist, Dr. Michelle Sands.
Hey mamas, Dr. Michelle Sands here, and today I'm sitting down with a good friend of mine. She is a passionate and dedicated health coach. She's a registered dietitian, but she's not only a registered dietitian at RD, but she really focuses on real food, which if you know about RDs, not all of them do. So I really kind of gravitated towards her, especially when I found out I was pregnant. I started listening to her podcast, Real Food Mamas, which made me feel like I know her. I started to feel like she was one of my girlfriends. So when it was time to do the summit, I totally reached out to her because what she has to say is super important when it comes to your nutrition and for yourself, your recovery during that postpartum period after you have your baby, and also your baby's development, and just going forward for supporting a strong and healthy family and a strong and healthy life. So she's going to talk to us today about superfoods versus super moms. We all want to be super moms. We all want to do it all, but and we don't fuel ourselves. I always liken moms to athletes, and you totally need to fuel yourself, rest, and recover. So she's going to talk about the fueling part today. I'm super excited to have Aglaee Jacobs here on the summit. So sit tight, relax, and learn a little bit about how to heal your body with superfoods if you want to be a super mom.
Hi, welcome back to the Happy, Healthy, Hot Mom Summit. I'm your host, Michelle Sands, and today we have Aglaee Jacobs from Radicata Nutrition, and she is going to talk to us about superfoods. So we kind of know you always hear the cliche, like you are what you eat, but what does that really mean? Like people say they're eating healthy, but what is healthy eating, and what are the superfoods that we can eat to make us super moms? So Aglaee, so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Michelle.
Well, thanks so much for coming to the summit because it's all about having moms be happy, healthy, and hot. And part of being happy and healthy and hot is eating the right foods, right?
Totally, yeah.
So I just want to ask you how you got started and what made you interested in nutrition. I noticed that you're a registered dietitian, and just my experience, I'm a naturopathic doctor, and my experience with RDs is they kind of tell the opposite of what I do. A lot of them, they preach the food pyramid and the government authorized diet, which has a lot of packaged processed foods. And I know you're totally different because I listened to your podcast. So how did you get to the real food side?
Yes, I used to be that RD too, and that's you can blame conventional RDs. That's what we're taught in school, and but yes, after a few years of practicing that way, I got my own health issues and found out that this model was not working at all, and I knew that it must be something. I strongly believe that real food could help me feel better and heal, especially that I was mainly suffering from digestive issues and hormonal issues, and it just seems so natural that food could be a part of the solution. So I started digging into the literature, doing my own research, listening to tons of podcasts and listening to other experts, and it just blew my mind that there was all of that evidence that was kept away from me, and I was really mad.
I have the same story. I started out as a personal trainer and a clinical nutritionist, and I preached the low fat, high carb. I was snacking on pretzels and diet soda all the time, and then it was great when I was in my 20s, but as I got to my late 20s, early 30s, it stopped working for me. And then I kind of understood why my 30-something-year-old soccer mom wasn't getting the results. I just thought she was lying to me. I thought she was
non-compliant
or not doing her best, but you're so right. And I went down that very same path of figuring it out, and then I went on to education in that area, but it's evidence, and it's really sad that it's kept from us.
It is. I was really frustrated, that I had spent a lot of money on my education, and still I wasn't told the whole truth, at least a very small part of it. So now that I discovered that, I was able to heal myself and now use that approach to help other people do the same. So
yeah,
I'm really glad
awesome. And now I kind of feel optimistic about future generations because of people like yourself and your podcast, and all of the awesome bloggers out there. People are getting the message out, and with the internet, now we can get that information.
Yeah, that's the best way to change the way things are done. Yeah.
So when we talk about eating healthy, that can mean so many different things to so many different people. So what is healthy eating to you?
Well, to me, it can be paleo, it can be low carb, low fat, high fat, high carb. There's just so many different diets, and I don't like to label things. I think that healthy eating really comes down to eating real food, the least processed possible, the most natural possible, and that's where you're going to get the best source of nutrition for your body. And it needs some tweaking, and so that's why sometimes working with someone like you or someone like me can help people better understand what their optimal diet is, but there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I always say, I'm like non-denominational when it comes to diets. Like I'm not on any like one camp of the paleo or the vegetarian, but like the one thing that you notice that all the really popular diets that seem to really work, they all do focus around real whole foods and a lot of plant-based foods. So even paleo, like people on Facebook like post pictures of their like pound of bacon, but they're really like paleo is really like plant-based with some meat and some nuts.
Exactly, if it's well done.
Yeah, so if you get down to the basics, like the real food, that's totally the way to go. So you happen to know about some superfoods that can really do something for your body, make you feel good, look good, and just be a healthy person. So what are some of the superfoods that you try? And they're different than the ones that like we might see on.
Yeah, little disclaimer, those are not your traditional superfoods like the acai berry and those new kind of berries. Those are the real superfoods that have been part of the human diet for a long time and that have been forgotten in the last decades or hundreds of years. So I'm really happy to help more mamas bring those foods back to their diet because that's what can help us be healthy and strong. We need healthy and strong mamas to make this world a better place.
Yeah, and to raise healthy, strong babies, right?
Yes, exactly. So those foods are good to optimize fertility, have a healthy pregnancy, a better recovery postpartum, and the postpartum period can be the early postpartum period within the first 6 to 12 months or, for the rest of your life because we need to be strong and healthy.
I totally agree. As long as we live. I would like that I learned this prior to getting pregnant because my pregnancy actually I didn't have all those typical pregnancy symptoms. I think I had mornings. I didn't really have any morning sickness, but I might have gotten like a couple of times early on. But and then my recovery was actually pretty simple as well. And I credit that to eating that healthy whole foods diet.
I'm sure.
So what are some of the So can you tell us a couple of the superfoods that you are talking about?
Yes, well, and I have an ebook too that describes those 7 superfoods that I believe are the best for super moms. But we don't have too much time, so I won't go into details for too many of those.
Well, maybe how about what makes something qualify as a superfood in your?
That's a good question. So those superfoods I chose them because they are the best source of some nutrients that are really important for fertility, for building a new baby, for just building a healthy and strong immune system, building new tissue, keeping your skin healthy and your bones strong as well. So that's how I choose those food. The first superfood is leafy greens. So that seems like a really easy one, but many people know that folic acid is important when it comes to fertility and pregnancy, but what most people make the mistake is that they use folic acid and folate interchangeably, but those nutrients are not the same at all. Folic acid is the synthetic form. It's found in many prenatals and fortified flours, but it's folate that we really want, and we can only, there are some good quality supplements that can contain the right form of folate, but leafy greens is really a good way to get those. And of course, so arugula, collard greens, kale, spinach are example, and it's good to choose those organic because they tend to be more heavily sprayed with pesticide, but that's a good way. If you eat a serving of those every day, you will be on your way to get enough folate without needing supplementation.
I love that it's like leafy greens are something that's so accessible to everybody. Like when you hear about some of the markety superfoods like the acai or some of these things like you have to travel to the Amazon to get them, or you have to order an expensive multi-level marketing company. But leafy greens, everyone gets leafy greens, and your mom when you were young, your mom told you to eat your vegetables, right?
It's common sense, right?
Yeah, mother's wisdom. So we got leafy
Yes,
greens. So that's an easy one that everyone could like incorporate right away into your diet. And
in salads or stir fried. Yes.
yeah, you don't even have to cook. Like
Yeah.
busy moms, you don't have to cook. Just chop up some greens. That's wonderful. Or
That's an easy
broccoli
one.
and things like that are great. So what's another one that people might not realize is a superfood?
The second one, some people may not like the sound of it, but sardines. Well, I would say, well, cold water fatty fish in general are a really good source of omega-3. But the reason why I like sardines especially is that they're really small fish, so they are less, they don't contain as much contaminants like mercury and those things that many pregnant women or breastfeeding women might worry about. Also, they're really sustainable. And if you eat them with the bones, you also get a bonus of calcium and other minerals that are good for your bones and teeth. So I know that if you haven't tried sardines before, I don't love sardines, I have to say, but I do eat them regularly. I found a brand that doesn't taste too strong. And
So how do you eat them? Do you just eat them right out of the can, or?
Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes, or I add them to a salad with a lot of other vegetables and olive oil and a lemon juice and the salt, and that's not too bad.
So you mentioned something really interesting right now. You mentioned that the smaller fish have less toxins. Can you kind of explain that for people who aren't familiar with that concept?
Yes. Well, actually, the larger the fish and the longer it lives, the more it has opportunities to eat other fish and accumulate toxins and contaminants. So that's why the smaller the fish, the better.
Yes. That's something that people often don't even think of, and that's a great tip right there alone. Yeah, so I actually did eat sardines while I was pregnant because I did learn about this.
Good job.
I did not like them, and I have to say I'm not eating them anymore.
Maybe we should talk about other recipes.
Maybe one of the mommy blongers will come out with a recipe that we can incorporate the sardines into. That'd be awesome.
Yes, let's work.
Okay, so baby, let's hear what the third one is.
Yes, bone broth. So that's with winter coming, maybe some people are incorporating more of that, but it's really important to make the distinction between the bone broth, commercial bone broth we find at the grocery store, which is not what we're talking about here. That bone broth is made with artificial ingredients and even contains soy and gluten and monosodium glutamate.
Yeah.
So we want to do the real bone broth made with real bones, ideally from grass-fed cows or pastured chicken. And that bone broth, it has so many nutritional benefits. It gives us some of the minerals that's found in the bone. That's also helpful for on our own bone and teeth and that of our growing baby if we're pregnant, but also some gelatin from the connective tissues that's really helpful for our skin, for joints. Some people have even said that it helps with cellulite and wrinkles, so to prevent those things. So I'm sure that if you want to be a hot mama, you need your bone broth.
I've been on the bone broth bandwagon now for a while, and I noticed a difference in my skin and just in like my overall, like I'm very athletic, and so I do a lot of running and a lot of like kickboxing and things like that, and like my joints actually do feel better. So it's like not only is it working on the inside and repairing your gut lining. And,
yes, there's the gut health too.
It's actually like working on the out. Like you can see, like this is one of the superfoods that like you could actually see results with. So I absolutely love bone broth just for all of its healing properties, and then also like it makes you look good,
Yes, and some people drink it as as they would coffee, but you could also have it in soups and stews if that's not your thing. But it kind of grows on you.
Because honestly, like I tried doing it like a coffee or like a cup of bone broth, but I didn't like it. But some people do, and it's just a great thing to have as like in between meal snack. You can put some of your vegetables in it and make it into a little soup. So that was like one of my favorite superfoods of all time. And so you mentioned there's a difference between the broth you buy in the supermarket and the bone broth that we're talking about. So how do they make the broth that you buy in the supermarket? Do you know, or?
That's a good question. I think they don't even use bones at all. I think
I don't think
try to mimic the flavor.
Use like the scrap. This is what I heard, and don't quote me on it. I could be wrong. I heard they use like the scrap parts of the animals that they're not using for beef. But you got to understand they're using factory farmed animals in this, so you're not getting. when they're actually boiling down those parts, you're probably getting more toxins than you are getting healing properties.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good question, but when you look at the list of ingredients, it doesn't look really natural
Yeah.
at all.
So do you make your bone broth yourself, or do you buy
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I in my slow cooker. So it's sometimes I don't know if you've ever tried making it yourself, but the smell can be pretty intense. So I try eating it outdoors, outside, and then I don't have to smell it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, that was one thing. The first time I did it, like I think my husband was like, "What are you doing? What's going on? Like, is that what we're having for dinner?" But
yeah, so yeah, if people try making it, remember that it doesn't smell the best. It's not the best smell in the world, but it tastes better than it smells.
I actually get mine from a local place out in San Diego, California.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've got so many options.
I'll have a link to the website to that place that I get it from, because I actually don't enjoy the cooking process. So
there are other options. That's good.
Yeah, there's always options. There's always options, and I believe like Whole Foods has it as well. If you just want to go grab some and
probably
like you can go to Whole Foods and get bone broth. It's awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So there's our three really good superfoods, and they're all things that are totally attainable. I mean, bone broth you kind of have to make, or you can get it at a local market or be on order. But if you can save money by just making it yourself, you can save the bones from chickens that you eat and just save them in the freezer or the fridge, and then there's like 2 or 3 chickens is what I used to make them, and it's just so healing. So thank you so much for that. And the rest of them are going to be in the free gift that you're offering to our audience today. It's 7. So 7, we talked about 3 of them, so there's 4 more that you haven't talked about that we can get in the ebook, right? And the ebook actually has something unique. It has a little calendar in it, so you can explain that.
Yes. Yeah, so at the end of the ebook, you have a printable monthly calendar to help you keep track of your superfoods, because sometimes you're really busy as mama. So it's good to have that reminder to eat our 7 superfoods so we can be as healthy as we can be.
That's really neat, because I actually I'm not a fan of like counting calories or counting points or all that stuff. I did it for a while, but now I kind of enjoy the freedom of knowing what to eat. But I noticed when I had my son, and now he's starting to eat solids, I started keeping track of like which foods I gave him, so I can give him a variety of different foods. And so that's such a great way, because he's new to eating, and some of you out there might be new to eating superfoods. So to track them, so you're getting them all, that's a brilliant idea, and I haven't seen anyone do that before. So
instead of counting calories, count superfoods.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I always say instead of counting calories, count chemicals. So like you don't want to like watch the chemicals. Like calories are good. That's energy. You want to get calories in your body, but you want to find good sources.
Yes, that's really smart.
So what you also have, I want to just talk about, you have a book, you're an author, so you wrote a book about digestive food healing, right?
Yes. The book is called Digestive Health with Real Food. It's actually a book. The blue one is it's called the Digestion Bible by some people. So there's a lot of information about digestion, and there's a companion cookbook, which is a brown color with more recipes, and that's all grain-free, dairy-free, and for people with different food restrictions or intolerances. So that makes it super easy for them to find what to eat, because that's often the big question when you know that you're intolerant to this and that, what is left to eat.
Yeah, it's so true, because you focus on what you can't eat, and then like when you go to make a meal, you're like, well, what can I eat now? And that's
exactly.
It's nice to have a resource such as that, because even myself, I find myself like you lose a little, when you're hungry too, you lose a little bit of creativity, and there are so many different options in healthy foods to eat, but a lot of times you just think of like, broccoli and chicken. But there's like so much more to it, and it's just so good to have a guide that in every recipe in there is like a safe recipe.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So can you tell us like where we can go to find more information about you, and maybe find the books as well? Are they on Amazon.com, or are they?
The books are on Amazon and at Barnes and Nobles too. And my website is radicatanutrition.com. So that's spelled RADICATA. That stands for root in Latin, because I believe that we need to go to the root of your underlying health issues using the root of medicine, which includes nutrition and natural remedies. And also it's important to stay grounded in the process, so to keep your roots in the earth. So that's radicatanutrition.com. And I also have a podcast, Real Food Mamas, which is on Stitchers and iTunes, or you can go directly to realfoodmamaspodcast.com.
Yeah, that Real Food Mamas podcast is actually how I found you. And it's like when I got pregnant, I started searching out information for healthy pregnancies and healthy moms. I learned a lot in school, but it's always good to look for people who are living it and doing it because things are
it's different when you experience it.
It's different when it's you, and it's different when it's your baby. And then so it's always good to have a community and to reach out to other moms, and through the podcast you can hear stories and different ideas for improving your health and improving the health of your children. So it's definitely a great resource. Even if you are not going to have any more kids and you just have your one or two, like it's great just to listen to that and just get some great ideas for keeping them healthy and yourself healthy as well. And your husband too.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure, and it was great. I can't wait to hold it up to Superfood stuff myself.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, and have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you received a lot of value out of this interview. I know that I did. I want you to open up to the possibility of making this new year the greatest opportunity that you have had so far to improve your life. This is about breaking out of paradigms. It's about learning the art of living. It is about honoring who you are as a woman as you discover who you are as a mother. It is about taking care of your body, mind, and spirit so that you can take better care of your family and be a shining example, a role model for your children so that they can grow up to be healthy, happy, and successful. I promise to continue to bring you educational, empowering, and inspiring content to help you achieve the body that you dream about and the life that you are meant to live. Stay tuned for more value-packed interviews, and be sure to check out all the resources on my website, metabolicmama.com. Until next time, wishing you a happy, healthy, hot day. Take care, mamas.